Hey guys, it's early on a Sunday morning. I'm off to Cars and Coffee at the Classic Motor Hub in Bybury. Now, some of you might be thinking, Tim, that's not your house. Where are you leaving from early doors on a Sunday morning? Don't worry, I haven't left Barn Wife and traded her in for an older, rustier model. No, in fact, we've moved house. That's right. Gone is the garage with the red door. Buy house into a 3-story townhouse, which, for those of you who know me, exercise is not my friend, but also outside the house, there is no driveway parking. I just have these massive, thick curbs to contend with. So I think I need to put some Radinox lips on the shopping list, otherwise these BBS are going to get destroyed. Now the sun's out, kind of, and I've got about 30-35 minutes to go till I get to the Classic Motor Hub at Bybury. It's somewhere I've never been before. I've seen a couple of you have been there before, so I thought let's check it out. Hopefully today I'm going to catch up with some of my mates there as well. Be nice to catch up with those guys and see what cars they're going to bring. I wanted to get to a few more shows and events this year because I feel like I didn't do as much last year as I wanted to, even though there's a huge amount of work to do at the barn. And that's why I bought this Jetta Coupe, was so that while I'm working on the other cars, I've got a car that doesn't need any work and I can just jump in it and go to a show. How wrong was I? This Jetta still isn't running right. I've changed the injector and it's still just as bad as it was. Maybe running a little bit better. It's not ideal, and I don't want to run this engine too hard with this janky injection setup, but I think I've got a plan. You know, after speaking to a couple of you and a lot of peer pressure from Monkey, I think I've decided I'm going to have to do an engine swap on this. And I know what you're thinking, Tim, not another one. Please just finish a car. Look, guys, if you saw the last video, you'll have seen that I've moved some stuff around in the barn. We're making a much nicer workspace to actually crack on and get some stuff done. So I think, yeah, there's one or two bits and pieces that need doing, a couple of cars that I'm going to do first, and then we're going to get onto this. Don't worry, I've not forgotten about Barn Find, and I've not forgotten about Jeffrey, the old Volkswagen press car. I just need someone to do the welding for me. So at the moment, because I have no idea what that's going to cost, I've kind of put that on the back burner for now, but hopefully we can get a couple of cars done, get them sold, and then I've got a bunch of money to plow into the welding and bodywork on those cars. Driving through this part of the world really does make me appreciate how beautiful the countryside around me is. This is 20 minutes from where I live, and yeah, it's absolutely beautiful around here. You've got all the chocolate box style houses, you've got the rolling hills, the stunning countryside, and of course you've got these B roads to blast around. And tucked away in the middle of nowhere, we've arrived. Now inside these sheds there's a collection of stunning classic cars, and some of them are up for sale, but we're going to focus on what's outside. These are the cars of the people who've come here today, just like me, to have a chat and look at some awesome cars. I mean, look at this 2-door classic Range Rover. Not a mark on it, absolutely stunning. And just parked, just chilling in the rain, is just a bright yellow Ferrari. And as you walk around, there's a whole bunch of cool 70s, 80s, 90s cars. Some of them are even older. There's just so many cool cars here to see. Like this Lotus Carlton that actually belongs to a really good friend of mine. And if you want to see more of this, he might actually be up for letting me have a nose around it on a video in the future. So make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment saying you want to see the Lotus Carlton. Right, it's starting to empty out here, so I should probably get myself back to the barn, drop this off, and then I need to get cracking on the Mini because it failed its MOT the other day, so there's a couple of bits and pieces I need to do. So I'm going to jump back in the Jetta and we're going to make our way to the barn to drop it off, and then we're going to get this Mini sorted. But actually, do you know what? It's not been bad today. It's been a good turnout. The weather's kind of held, and there's been a really interesting mix of classic Porsches, some rally cars, a whole host of different cars that you don't see, along with some new cars, all sorts of everything. So yeah, it's been a really great turnout. So, funny story, when I was pulling out, I got stopped by the guy on the gate and asked me what was under the bonnet in this. Was it supercharged? Sadly, no. And he's not the first person there to to ask me that question, because when I pulled in, a couple of people are again asking me, is this supercharged? And I think it's because the alternator belt is a little bit worn. So it's been tightened up to the point where I think I've kind of got this supercharger type whine coming from under the bonnet. Sadly, it's not a case of a G60 under the bonnet. It is just an £8 belt that needs replacing. Now I've dropped the Jetta off at the barn and I'm heading off to see Dean. I'm actually in Dean's car, so I'm gonna go give this back to him. So this is the 330D with the Max Peeling Rods coilovers in it. And do you know what? They are actually really nice. They're not crashy. It's firm. You know it's been lowered, but actually it feels quite comfortable to drive. Yeah, it's not a bad set in this. So I'm gonna go and see Dean now. Sam's there already and see exactly what has been done to the Mini and what's left to do. There's Sam's big green truck. So it looks like I've arrived at the right place. With the old dented crowns off, it's time to fit some wheels we picked up off an R56 in a breaker's yard. And I think with a bit of a clean, they're gonna look 100 times better. Now on to tackle the lambda sensor. So this is the new Millian exhaust we fitted. We just need to change the secondary lambda and we're good to go. Give it a run. Now we've had the subframe off this car, we've had the suspension off, so of course we need to do a quick wheel alignment, and just when we cleared the codes, something new popped up. Bugger. With the Mini behind me, we took it in for an MOT this week and it failed on a handful of things. So not bad considering it's been off the road for 18 months, maybe 2 years now. But there are a couple of bits that we thought we can just get sorted, get it retested, and it's back on the road. Drove it around the block, light came on again, and it turned out now that the cam position sensor's faulty. So I had to order a new one of those, took a couple of days. So instead of leaving it there, cluttering up the place, we've brought it back up the barn. So we're just gonna change that over today, and that should be this Mini back on the road. Now, what we've got is to change this over, you can see that the plug for it is just under here. So that means we've got to take this engine mount off, and then we've got perfect access. So it means that we've had to jack up the bottom of the engine carefully, jack under the sump with a block of wood on it to protect it, just to make sure it takes the weight of that engine. And then with that engine mount out the way, we've got easy access to swap it over. So yeah, there we go, new sensor. That has got a new seal on it as well. So sometimes they do leak from here. So hopefully this should be the one and the car's running. Yeah, it is, yeah. There we go. It's in, we've got a screw, a nut, a bolt even. There we go, that is in. That'll do. And there we go, that's in. Just got to pop the engine mount back on, or plug the sensor in, pop the engine mount in, and let's see if it did it. Right, go on. So we've got ABS light and engine management light on still. So it looks like we've still got issues with this Mini. What does it mean? Well, I'm gonna have to track back the wiring to the ABS sensor because obviously there's something wrong there. We fitted 2 new sensors to this and we're still getting the same issue. Now the first one was a cheap sensor, so I thought, you know what? I have been told not to fit cheap sensors to these Minis, so I fitted a proper OE replacement. It was about 50 quid. And yeah, do you know what? Still no good. So I think I'm gonna have to go back and check the wiring on that. And of course the engine management light is still on for the cam position. So if it's not a faulty sensor, then the chances are it could be that the timing's slightly out, but it's weird. You can clear it and it only comes back every so often. So it could be that where the car had been sat for so long, the tensioner itself might be a bit sticky. You know, we've done an oil change. Maybe we should
flush it out, put fresh oil in it again, and also change the tensioner. So I think that's what I'm going to be checking first of all. So I guess it means it's not going to be ready for its MOT tomorrow. And I'm certainly not going to be driving it home today. So it begs the question, what do I drive home?
Like there was any doubt, of course I was going to do something stupid before this video finished. If you want to see more about this little black Mini that I've just gone and bought for £500, drop it in the comments, just write black Mini. Or if there's another car you want to see in an upcoming video, drop that down in the comments. Let me know what you'd like to see. But guys, I think I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to take this little Mini home. I haven't told Barn Wife yet, so maybe she'll leave me for a more sensible, sane person who doesn't buy shit boxes every 5 minutes. But still, guys, with that in mind, thank you ever so much for watching. Remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one.